Just before her death, Mother Teresa shared something that shocked the world. It is said to be a personal secret that could change how the world sees her. Known for her deep love for the poor and after a lifetime of serving others, this final revelation was quite unexpected and, at the same time, eye-opening. But what could a woman so devoted to helping the poorest of the poor have kept hidden for so long? Could this final revelation redefine her legacy? Join us as we reveal the surprising truth about what Mother Teresa revealed before she passed away. You don't want to miss this. Mother Teresa was a beacon of light. The world saw her as a woman unwavering in her belief in God, a trust in humanity, and her mission to serve the poor. For decades, she was known worldwide for her selfless dedication to the poor, the sick, and the abandoned. Yet, there's something few people know, a secret she carried in her heart until her final days. She had spent over 50 years caring for those whom society had forgotten, lepers, orphans, the homeless, and the dying. She received global recognition, including the Nobel Peace Prize. But as her health began to decline, there was a heaviness in her heart, a burden she had carried for far too long. The people around her knew something was different in those last days, but they couldn't put their finger on it. As the world admired Mother Teresa's every move, there was an untold story that even her closest followers never knew. You might think that after giving her entire life to the service of others, no more mysteries would be left to uncover. But there was one final revelation, a secret that Mother Teresa shared only in her last moments, and it shocked everyone who heard it. Intriguingly enough, this secret wasn't about her incredible work in the slums of Kolkata or the thousands of lives she touched through her endless acts of kindness. It was something she struggled with in silence. Imagine that, a woman who prayed daily and lived entirely devoted to God had felt this way for over 50 years. How could this be? As she lay in her final days, weak but still determined, she felt the need to unburden herself of this secret. Those closest to her were left in disbelief when she finally spoke. So, what was it? Was it fear, regret, or something more profound connected to her faith, which she had built her entire life upon? Mother Teresa's life was nothing short of extraordinary. Born as Agnes Gongsha Bahakshu in 1910 in what is now modern-day Macedonia, no one could have predicted the immense impact she would have on the world. But from a young age, she felt a calling to devote herself to a life of service. Little did anyone know that she would grow into one of history's most iconic figures of compassion and selflessness. Her work was not just about giving but also about transforming lives, lifting up the forgotten, and becoming a global symbol of hope, faith, and unconditional love. Mother Teresa didn't come from wealth or power, she wasn't born into a family of influence. Yet, she changed the world through a straightforward principle, love. Her love wasn't just an abstract feeling, it was something she lived every day, especially for those who were the most neglected, the poorest of the poor. From the filthy streets of Kolkata, India, to the grand stages of the United Nations, Mother Teresa carried one message: every life has value, and every person deserves dignity and love. The turning point in her life came when she was 36 years old, working as a teacher in Kolkata. During a train ride to the Himalayan town of Darjeeling in 1946, she experienced what she called the call within the call. At that moment, she felt an intense pull from God, urging her to leave behind the comforts of her convent life and live among the poorest of the poor. This was not an easy decision. It meant abandoning everything familiar and secure, it meant walking into the unknown. But that was the Mother Teresa we knew. She wasn't afraid to step into the shadows. She left her comfortable life behind and dove into the heart of one of the world's most crowded and impoverished cities, Kolkata. What she saw there was overwhelming. The streets were filled with homeless children, the sick, the dying, and those society had cast aside. Most people looked away, but Mother Teresa couldn't. She saw them not just as beggars or outcasts, but as human beings, each deserving of love and care. With no money, resources, or grand plan, she began her mission by doing what she could, tending to one person at a time. At first, she had only a small, abandoned building in which to work. It wasn't much, but to Mother Teresa, it was a place where love could grow. Her first patients were people dying in the streets, those who had nowhere else to go. She would carry them in, wash their wounds, hold their hands, and sit with them until the end. The care she gave wasn't just physical, it was deeply spiritual. It was about restoring dignity to people who had lost everything. As expected, word of her work began to spread, and soon others wanted to join her. That's when she founded the Missionaries of Charity in 1950. The mission of the group was simple: to care for the hungry, the naked, the homeless, the crippled, the blind, the lepers, all those people who feel unwanted, unloved, and cared for throughout society, people that have become a burden and are shunned by everyone. Mother Teresa and her followers made it their mission to serve those the rest of the world had forgotten. But that's not all. What made her work stand out wasn't just that she was helping the poor, it was how she did it. She didn't just give them food or medicine, she treated each person with immense dignity and respect, no matter their condition, and always whispered comforting words into their ears. To her, every person, no matter how broken, was a reflection of God. She often said, each one of them is Jesus in disguise. That was her secret: she saw divinity in every human being, no matter their state. As her work continued to grow, so did the attention. Mother Teresa's unwavering commitment to the poor began to capture the imagination of people worldwide. She didn't seek fame, yet fame found her. She was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979, and when she accepted it, she didn't make it about herself. Instead, she used the platform to speak for those who had no voice, the millions of people worldwide suffering in silence. However, despite the accolades, the ceremonies, and the worldwide recognition, Mother Teresa stayed the same. She didn't allow herself to be swept up in fame. In fact, she often turned down opportunities to meet with world leaders and celebrities because she believed her time was better spent with the poor. She once famously said, "If you can't feed 100 people, then feed just one." To her, every small act of kindness made a difference. She believed that love could transform the world, no matter how small. But Mother Teresa's life wasn't without its challenges. She faced criticism for her strict religious views, particularly her stance on contraception and abortion. Some accused her of not doing enough to tackle the systemic causes of poverty. Others questioned the conditions in some of her care homes. But through it all, she remained focused on her mission. She was never deterred by controversy or criticism. Her focus was always on the person right in front of her who needed her help. Mother Teresa continued her work until her health began to fail in the 1990s. But even as her body weakened, her spirit remained strong. She continued to travel, to speak, and to serve. It wasn't until 1997, just months before her death, that she finally stepped down as head of the Missionaries of Charity. By then, her order had grown to include thousands of sisters working in over 100 countries, all dedicated to following in her footsteps. Mother Teresa died on September 5, 1997, but her legacy remains. Her Missionaries of Charity continue to serve the poorest of the poor worldwide, from Kolkata to New York, Africa to Europe. But the revelation she made just before her final breath is now shaking the world. Mother Teresa is known worldwide for her incredible work with the poor. Her public image was that of a saintly figure, full of love and compassion. She had a warm smile and a gentle voice, and many believed she had a direct connection to God. However, many people don't know that Mother Teresa faced a hidden struggle behind that image. For decades, she battled with a deep spiritual darkness that left her feeling alone and lost. This spiritual struggle began in the early years of her mission. Mother Teresa wrote many letters to her friends and fellow sisters, revealing her feelings of emptiness. In 2007, a book titled "Come Be My Light" was published, sending shockwaves worldwide. This book was different from anything else written about Mother Teresa. Instead of focusing solely on her incredible life of service and compassion, it revealed a deeply personal side of her, filled with spiritual struggles and profound darkness. The letters included in the book were personal and raw. Mother Teresa wrote about feeling a deep longing for God but being unable to feel His presence. She questioned whether her work mattered and whether God was listening to her prayers. In her own words, she described feeling like she was in a darkness that never lifted, a dryness in her soul that made it hard to believe in God's presence. This was shocking to many who had seen her as a saintly figure, a woman who radiated peace and love. For someone who dedicated her life to spreading love and faith, these doubts were hard to comprehend. Many who admired her began to wonder, how could someone so devoted to God experience such profound spiritual struggle? This is where the mystery lies. Mother Teresa's work brought her face to face with immense suffering. She saw hunger, sickness, and death daily. It would be easy to think that such a calling would bring her closer to God. However, the suffering around her made her question her own faith. How could she serve a loving God when there was so much pain in the world? This internal conflict caused her much distress. It was a painful contradiction she carried alone for many years. The revelations in *Come Be My Light* sparked many reactions. Admirers felt a sense of betrayal, struggling to reconcile the image of Mother Teresa as a devoted servant of God with the reality of her inner turmoil. Critics seized the opportunity to question her faith and sincerity. One of the most vocal was Christopher Hitchens, a famous writer and speaker who did not believe in God. He took advantage of the revelations about Mother Teresa's struggles to paint her as a hypocrite, arguing that she couldn't be a true saint if she felt so lost. He claimed her life of service was not genuine, suggesting she was merely trying to cover up her inner pain by helping others. He also argued that her actions were motivated by her need to mask her depression, claiming that she used charity to distract herself from her inner turmoil. However, this view misses a crucial point. Mother Teresa's deep connection to God fueled her desire to help others. She often said that serving the poor was serving Christ himself. Her struggles didn't lead her to lethargy, they inspired her to work harder and care more deeply for the suffering. Others saw her struggles as a testament to the challenges many face in their spiritual journeys. They argued that her honesty made her even more relatable and human. The debate about Mother Teresa's faith was not just about her personal struggles. It opened up a conversation about spirituality, doubt, and the human experience. Many people struggle with their faith, especially in difficult times. For some, these doubts can lead to deeper connections with God. For others, they can feel isolating and painful. Mother Teresa's experiences highlighted that even the most devoted individuals can have moments of weakness and doubt. Her letters showed that faith is not always a straight path, it can be filled with twists and turns. Despite the criticism, many people still found strength in Mother Teresa's story. Her letters reminded them that faith is a journey and that everyone experiences challenges. Her dedication to serving others never wavered, even during her darkest moments. She continued to care for the poor, the sick, and the dying, demonstrating that love and compassion can exist alongside doubt. People began to see Mother Teresa differently. Some saw her as both a saint and a human being with flaws and struggles. She wasn't perfect. She was a woman who faced profound challenges but chose to dedicate her life to helping others regardless of her internal battles. Her journey inspired many who struggle with their faith, showing them that it's okay to have doubts and that love can shine through in the darkest of times. *Come Be My Light* also sparked conversations about mental health and spirituality. Mother Teresa's struggles resonated with many who deal with depression and anxiety, highlighting the importance of addressing mental health in religious contexts. Her experiences encouraged people to talk about their struggles openly, showing that seeking help while still holding on to faith is possible. The revelations in *Come Be My Light* sparked essential discussions about mental health and led people to talk about the profound spiritual challenge known as the dark night of the soul. This idea, beautifully explained by St. John of the Cross, speaks to a period of deep spiritual struggle where one feels abandoned by God. St. John's teachings influenced her journey through this painful experience and shaped her extraordinary dedication to the poorest of the poor. The dark night of the soul is a painful journey encountered by many people of faith. It is a time when the light of God seems distant, leaving individuals feeling lost and alone. This concept is most famously described by St. John of the Cross, a 16th-century mystic who wrote about his own experiences of spiritual suffering. His teachings shed light on this journey, showing how it can lead to deeper faith. For Mother Teresa, this idea played a significant role in her spiritual life, helping her navigate her deep struggles. During this time, she felt as though she was in a dark tunnel with no light at the end. St. John of the Cross described the dark night of the soul as a process that can lead to spiritual growth. He taught that this time of suffering is not a sign of weakness or failure but a chance to purify the soul. This purification helps believers grow closer to God. Mother Teresa's life embodies this idea. Even when she felt abandoned, she dedicated herself to serving others, trusting that her love for God would guide her through the darkness. In her letters, Mother Teresa expressed her feelings of isolation and despair. She often wrote about her longing for God and how the silence felt deafening. Yet, instead of giving up, she poured her energy into her work with the poor. She believed that by serving others, she was serving Christ himself. This belief kept her going even on the darkest days. It's a powerful reminder that faith can exist even without feeling God's presence. Mother Teresa's journey through the dark night of the soul is similar to what many people experience in their own lives. We all go through times when we feel distant from God, when prayers seem unanswered, and when faith feels like a heavy burden. These moments can be incredibly challenging, but can lead to personal growth. St. John of the Cross encourages us to embrace these periods of struggle, as they can deepen our understanding of faith and ourselves. As we can see, Mother Teresa's life was a testament to this belief. Despite her personal pain, she chose to focus on the suffering around her. She saw the face of Christ in the poor, the sick, and the dying. This undoubtedly gave her strength and purpose. The dark night of the soul concept also emphasizes the importance of hope. Even when Mother Teresa felt abandoned, she held on to the hope that God was with her, even if she couldn't feel it. This hope fueled her work and inspired countless others. It teaches us that light can be found even in our darkest moments if we seek it. St. John of the Cross undoubtedly understood that the dark night was a transformative experience. He believed it could lead to a more profound love for God and a more substantial commitment to serve others. Mother Teresa exemplified this idea in her own life. She believed everyone deserved love and dignity, which drove her every action. Mother Teresa often spoke about love being the greatest gift in her ministry. She encouraged her followers to love without limits, even in the face of suffering. This message resonates deeply with those who experience their own dark nights. It reminds us that love can shine brightly even when everything else feels dark. As we reflect on the life of Mother Teresa and the teachings of St. John of the Cross, we are invited to embrace our own struggles. The dark night of the soul is not just a time of suffering, it is also a time of deep reflection and growth. It encourages us to search for God in silence and trust that we are never truly alone. When we talk about not being alone, you may wonder what was the source of her strength. How did she keep going in the face of such overwhelming suffering? The answer is in her deep love for Christ and her unwavering faith, both of which fueled her incredible work. A critical moment highlighting this connection is a sermon by Archbishop Giovanni Battista, which emphasized the power of faith in the midst of hardship. From the start, Mother Teresa's life was a testament to the strength of prayer. She understood that prayer was her lifeline. Every day, she dedicated time to talking to God, seeking His guidance, and pouring out her heart. This regular communication with God helped her stay grounded and focused, even when the challenges seemed insurmountable. She often said, "Prayer is putting oneself in the hands of God." For her, prayer was not just a ritual, but a relationship. It was where she found her strength to face each day. Archbishop Giovanni Battista, a close friend and supporter of Mother Teresa, delivered a powerful sermon that resonated with her mission. He spoke about the importance of unwavering faith, especially during tough times. His words served as a reminder that faith is not about constantly feeling strong, it's about trusting God even when life gets hard. He encouraged everyone to cling to their faith, just as Mother Teresa did. His sermon was not just a tribute to her life, but a call for others to find strength in their faith journeys. Archbishop Giovanni Battista described Mother Teresa as a beacon of hope. In his homily, he shared stories of her selfless acts, how she embraced the sick and the dying, and how her love for Christ drove her to serve with joy. He highlighted her belief that every person deserves dignity and love, no matter their circumstances. Her work was rooted in her faith. She saw Christ in everyone she helped. This perspective was what made her different. It was what fueled her passion and tireless efforts to bring comfort to those in need. Mother Teresa faced many challenges throughout her life. She encountered suffering that many could not bear to witness, yet amid it all, she remained committed to her calling. The Archbishop's homily reflected this commitment, emphasizing that true strength comes from God. Mother Teresa's ability to stay calm and loving, even in the darkest situations, directly resulted from her unwavering faith. She believed that love and prayer could change lives and lived this belief every day. One of the most profound aspects of Mother Teresa's faith was her understanding of love. She often spoke about love as the greatest commandment. In her eyes, love was not just a feeling but an action. She believed that she was fulfilling Christ's command to love one another by serving others. Her actions reflected her deep relationship with God. Archbishop Giovanni Battista echoed this sentiment in his sermon, reminding the congregation that love is the driving force behind all meaningful actions. Mother Teresa's life teaches us that love is not always easy. It requires sacrifice and sometimes even suffering. Yet she faced these challenges with grace. She often said, "Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love." This simple yet profound message captures the essence of her work. She showed that even the most minor acts of kindness can significantly impact. Archbishop Giovanni Battista's homily reinforced this idea, encouraging everyone to find ways to love those around them. Even as Mother Teresa's legacy lives on, we must remember the power of prayer and faith. Her commitment to prayer fueled her actions, allowing her to serve with compassion. The Archbishop's words remind us that faith is not just about believing in God, it's about trusting Him during difficult times. Mother Teresa's unwavering faith was an example for all who met her. What's more, the Archbishop's homily also highlighted the importance of community. Mother Teresa understood that she was part of a larger body of believers. She often spoke about the need for support and encouragement from one another. The homily reminded us that we are not alone in our struggles. By coming together in faith and love, we can uplift one another and make a difference in the world. Just like Mother Teresa, we can transform our pain into a source of strength. In the end, you would agree that Mother Teresa's revelation is a reminder that faith is not always easy and that even those who seem to have it all figured out may be struggling with their own demons. As we look back on Mother Teresa's life, this final revelation doesn't diminish her legacy. In fact, it makes her even more relatable. She wasn't a perfect saint who never wavered, she was a human being who, like the rest of us, had moments of doubt and despair. Yet she continued to love, serve, and give even when she felt God had forsaken her. We've come to the end of this video. What do you think about Mother Teresa's final revelation? Would you like to follow her path of love and unwavering faith? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click on the following video showing on your screen, you will enjoy it.